Okay, Sagittarius, this is going to be your spirituality reading for July and August of 2025. Just a heads up, I started a Facebook page. If you want to deal with me and energy healings and more readings one-on-one, go in there and follow, and I will meet you in there in the fall if I get some followers. If I don't, then I just won't go in. I'll just continue what I'm doing here. So let's get on with the reading. Sag, your first card from the Gaia deck that we have for your spiritual readings. I had to take a break from the last Scorpio reading. It's pretty heavy, but nonetheless. The first card that we have for you from the Gaia deck is Death and Rebirth. 8. That usually means there's an end of an old cycle here that has to be reborn in a new way. That could be our spiritual selves. We are opening up to new ways and closing down others that in the past that did not serve us or for our highest good. This is all guided and along with flow. So this is good to start on that energy. It's good because it's saying there's a renewal of or a refreshment of our energy field here. So as we move into the present, that's a past energy. We have the healing card. Healing will create new energy fields for you. So this is all in alignment. We may be at this point healing from some emotional turmoil that we've had in our life. The snake wrapped around that pole is just that energy swirling up and creating a new wave of understanding. This is the word that they gave me. We're going to understand things differently from the before and after of this process. There's a great cutoff here of negative energy that we will allow to flow with us any longer. We're going to chop it off. We realize it doesn't help us in any way. They're showing me all these little frogs. I seem to find new frogs and new things in each card. But there's the one frog that's hanging on the is it the coattail? No, it's actually the healing staff. And he's higher on the ladder. And I feel like the Sag is the one sitting there going, I got to start my healing path here. It may be a little pensive as to jump on and actually go down this road, but there's a greater part of them that is instinctively pushing them in this direction. Because again, we're going to release from that which didn't serve us in the past, and that's what we've needed to do all along here. Great healing we are in at this moment. As we move into the future, what do we get from Gaia? Wow, 7, 5, 6, 7 of Earth. And again, this is death and rebirth. It's the same thing. We're burning up that part of us that is no longer needed. When the snake grows, they shed that skin. This is what we're doing. We're shedding that part of us is no longer going to fit into our spiritual realm here because it didn't work for us then. It's not working for us now, and we're actually finding new tools to go in new directions and open up a new field. So this is really good, Sag. This energy is burning up everything that we no longer need in our life. And the snake's tail around that solar plexus, there's a focus here having to do with our own happiness that we really need to, at this time, consider. Don't do things for others' perspective. How do I put that? Don't do things in your life to make other people proud of you or happy that you made that decision when it's going to hinder your own happiness. Make yourself happy first. And it's easier to go outward and spread that to others. We're going to gain some mental peace in the future. If we're successful in the healing, and along with healing comes usually emotions that we have to deal with. So as we process those emotions, we will release that which is no longer needed. Okay. Reiterating. Now, next row, as we get into the Isis card, we get into deeper issues. On the death and rebirth, it's very very prominent here that yes, we are in a healing path. Something has happened here that's created a great ability to move forward in a better way. On top of the death and rebirth, spirit of Isis, triumph of the goddess. We are looking forward to our future in this new enlightened way that we're thinking, feeling, and emoting. If we have released from our emotions, we're looking forward to the future in a new way. If we release from negative emotions of the past and we heal through and feel those emotions that we need to feel and truly process this path, we will end up in peace in the near future. And the spirit of Isis is with you. And that can be a great feminine side of compassion, a great feminine side of forgiveness, even if it is only of the self, they said. Forgive ourselves for, again, I'm repeating this, trespasses and those that trespassed against, that saying. A need for this in our life at this time. We really do need to think from a different center. The spirit of Isis is that great feminine compassion that we can go forward in our future clear as long as we process those, those areas. Feeling the hurts of the past, releasing the hurts of the past, and working forward from that new perspective that gets pulled in because we've done this. On top of the healing card, the 11, what do we get from Isis? We get the Temple of the Carnelian, entering the fierce belly of Sekhmet. When I first was introduced to charms and gemstones and whatnot, the carnelian was always given to those that needed self-worth, needed to feel strong within the self in order to go outward in the same way. I feel like this is here for you now, and part of our healing process will be to gain gifts in the way of self-strength, self-worth, this kind of thing. It's to trust. And we have to go over our old plans, right? Old things of the past. We have to go over that in order to rectify the fact, were we wrong or were we right? And if we were right, why were we right? And if we're wrong, why were we wrong? And correct those things in the future. That gives us some more empowerment to have faith in our own self. I think we may not have had self-trust here, or we're gaining this in little increments as we go forward. That's what they said. Little increments of self-trust are coming in here because, we're going to, one, heal. That means emotionally purge. That means emotionally understand and release from negative emotions this way. That will all help us gain our self-strength as we move forward. Now, as we go into this peace and grace of the 7 of earth, again, the old self is burning up. So I feel like any bitterness and resentment, we have the ability here to release a lot of this during this time. Not only is it energetically imbalanced, like energetically, it's very simple to do that now because of the alignment of the frequencies and vibrations, but we are also in alignment with that, and it's just going to get wiped away by the tide. Like, it's just a big tide coming in, taking a whole bunch of shit away, and now your beach is clear. This is kind of what I'm getting. If we are in alignment with that, if we're on the positive side, we can easily remove a lot of baggage here. So on top of the 7 of earth, the Isis card we get is the Temple of Lapis Lazuli, goddess of the ancient skies. Now, first, this makes me think of our sky brother and sister. Can I put it that way? Secondly, it also makes me think of friendships and, how would you say, like that feeling of caring for someone and making them or wanting their highest good for them and, striving to be excited for them to feel new realms. I feel like you may have guides or whatnot here that are very excited and want you to feel, the realms of forgiveness. Also, That includes the self, by the way, is what they said. Forgiveness of others that have, again, trespassed against us. And forgiving of the self for whatever you deem responsible. Because we got to trust ourselves to discern things in our past properly. So I feel like there may also be an ability in the physical form for a friend to come forward here, a new friendship of a higher vibrational frequency to come in and kind of help pamper you through this process. Yeah, I feel this is brand spanking new, if not an earth angel. It's brand spanking new energy, someone that will come in and make all of this make sense to you. And then they might even just disappear after that. So that's kind of how earth angels work. Okay. There's that. Now, let me clue you in on something here. The thing is, when you can analyze that to death, but the bottom line is somebody will be of higher guidance. They will accept the mission to come in and support you in your rough patch. And then they will no longer, it will be released when the deed is done, and they will no longer feel that urge, and you may no longer feel attracted to go there, and it will just be a separating of the waters of these two people. It could be an acquaintance that we meet and is there, and then suddenly we just never come across them again. I've heard of weirder things to happen, but this is kind of the sense they're giving me. Okay, as we go back to the third line here, we get the cat cards that kind of lighten up the energy. Spirit of Isis is a feminine spirit, so if you're masculine, it will give you that soft side of compassion and heart to come from, get underneath all the anger and bitterness, resentment of things of our past, screwing up our future, No, we're going to release from that. And if the Spirit of Isis is there releasing and, creating that hook to release that from you, she will get that done. So on top of that, the cat card we get is the Five of Wands. Yeah, there might be a fight to get through this. We may have already been through that battle because these are all past cards. We may have been fighting to bring ourselves to a point of compassion here to understand all of this in a better, grander way. But it was a challenge nonetheless. And again, we may have challenged other people outside of us in order to gain that and whatnot. This is highly here in our past. Now, as we move into the present here, again, there's a lot of healing that can come. There's a lot of self-worth that is coming as well. Little bits of it are bringing ourselves back to balance. Back into balance. Back into balance. The Temple of the Carnelian will bring that, and it'll bring a fierce force, hopefully, in the right modes as we go forward. The cat card on top of there. The Eight of Cups, yeah. In order to do that, we need to leave that which is unsettling or doesn't sit well with us. We're turning our back on that. We're going off in a way to achieve greater, bigger, grander things. That which we were tapping into in the past just did not serve us. So we're going off in a new direction. And part of that direction has to do with being healed in order to see it properly. And also the self-worth has to be in a right place to balance that out, to go in the right way where we're not looping in the same energy. I feel like in our mental mindscape, we are determined not to come across this again. But if we don't process emotionally, we will loop back into it unconsciously. We'll just go back in and like, what? And get mad and frustrated. So again, a lot of healing is needed here. I feel we are tapping into it. We're gaining bits of self-worth as we do so. In the future, where do we end up here? I feel like, again, there is a part of us that is leaving. There's a part of our soul that has grown, shed skin, processed into better realms here. And that lapis lazuli always brings friendly energy. It's like the oh man, I'm gonna blank out again on that. It's like an Indian jewel. Indigo? No, not indigo. But anyway, those colors, they bring about friendship. They bring about friendly people that want to help you get through. They want, for your highest good, this kind of thing. Good sourced people is what they said. On top of that, lapis lazuli, the cat card we get is the 7 of Wands. Okay. Interesting. Sag, you will be in resistance of this, is the sense that I get. We may have to fight for our freedom of mind. We may have to fight for our freedom in the physical realms. Wow. Didn't see that coming. There's a lot of good potential here, but we don't hit it off the bat. But again, this is short-term, July and August. So we may just come up into a looping energy, or we may just come across a challenge here that we have to, charge through. And that's where we end the reading. We go off in a new direction, and it creates a challenge, no less. So if we're in denial of anything, it will just continue to come up in our face until we deal. So that's the good part of this healing process. The bad part is it's still going to be a challenge to move forward. And again, healing in the proper manner and self-worth is what we need to focus on at this time. Now, in the processing of all emotion, the dragon card that we get, again, something that we have or is needed, we get the earth dragon. Clears your path and land around you. Stay grounded, be ready to serve. Stuck energy is clearing. You can move forward in life. Okay, that's what I feel here. The 7 of Wands in the future, I feel like that's the stuck energy that we face. So this is after that card. So that symbolizes that we will clear that energy as we move forward, which is good because it doesn't give us another looping cycle. We're not going to go back on old ways. We're going to go forward in new, fresh ways and whatnot. The thing here is to keep in mind that we need to stay grounded. Be ready to serve, and that means you take your energy outward. If we are truly healed and are coming from compassion, then you will go outward in this way. If we are not healed and we have bitterness and resentment, we will go out in that way. That could be the challenge here, is to rid our bitterness and resentment so that we don't spread it outward. And sometimes people, and I used to do this a lot as well, they say, well, I'm just venting. And it's like, no, that's, it's not venting if you are creating negative energy field. And especially if you come across someone who is content in their moment and you leave them and they're frustrated. That is not right. So there's an awareness here to be aware of how we influence people in our surroundings. The path will be cleared for you. And somehow we get through this obstacle that comes in the future. Now, your surrender card, your soul's path, your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. This is the most paramount idea here, is the growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. So, yeah, a need to kind of look at the finer details a little more in order to get everything out of this lesson here. I feel like if we do that, the obstacle will just be a speed bump. If we don't look at the details, it's going to be quite abrasive, quite in our face, But the universe wants you to overcome this obstacle, so therefore you will. It's just a matter of the length of time, right? We could fight a little longer if we're resistant to guidance, but I don't feel, it's just a matter of where you sit in your healing journey, right? And that's the time it takes. We take the time it takes to heal, and we go through the struggles along the way. That's what they said. So, Sagittarius, that is your spiritual reading for July and August of 2025. Take care, have fun, and be kind, and we'll talk to you soon.